thought we had good work today. We'll have a walkthrough then this afternoon, and then these guys are off tomorrow, and then we'll be in pads on Monday. Any questions?
What's the most significant thing you think you got accomplished in these first 4 months?
Well, look, I think constantly bringing everyone up to speed as to what we're wanting. In the same way with the coaching staff, you know, the expectations of how we want to practice to look, the tempo, and then, you know, the installation obviously is important. So these guys learning in the meetings, watching the tape, you know, trying to avoid the repeated mistakes, that kind of thing. But look, it's their first time. It's our first time as a staff together. So, you know, we all like routine and eliminating distractions and trying to do all of that, but trying to get these guys into that practice that we're looking for tempo-wise and organizationally.
How do you balance the enthusiasm of putting pads on versus over-enthusiasm and make sure you're protecting each other?
Yeah, look, it's an emotional game, and you have to play it that way. And so I think the key is identifying what you're wanting in each period. You know, we're going to have some live periods, and we're going to have some periods where they're not live, and so I think to your question, clarity with the tempo, so that we're explaining it, everyone's on the same page. I think that's important.
You brought in Shelby Harris yesterday for a visit. Where does that stand?
Yeah, we brought him in, and that would be it. He's living here locally, so it was pretty easy, and we felt like it was worthwhile. We'll probably have a few others that we look at bringing in, but nothing other than that. And, you know, we kind of go from there.
You said you don't want your coaches to be instant evaluators when the pads come on next week. How quickly does separation start?
Well, look, we're evaluating everything. The key is not to come to the conclusions right away, but we're, you know, all of these snaps and reps and stuff that we're seeing, it's all going into the evaluation process, and certainly it helps the player when, you know, he can perform, when he knows what he's doing. But I've seen it a lot when the pads come on, where certain guys, it can kind of define them sometimes in a positive way. So we've got a lot of time here, and there is a sense of urgency as to what we're doing, but you know, we're really right at the beginning. Yeah, first time I met him, and really that was fantastic. I didn't realize his history here in Denver and Colorado, but Ray introduced me to him, and you know, he's going to come up and give him a tour, and I was a big fan watching him play, and you know, he's doing the same thing. You know, he's a head coach, and I'm a big fan of his, so it was good to meet him.
You're so closely associated with Drew Brees, but the reality is, like, the last 5 years, you ran the heck out of the football. Does that commitment and mindset start here? Did it start in April? And as a play caller,
I think it's got to be part of our DNA, and we felt that way in New Orleans as well. I think, you know, the two greatest allies for good quarterback play are a running game and good defense. I think it's a tough position to play if you're not running the ball well, and then obviously it becomes tougher if you're not stopping anyone. So that's going to be important to what we do, and as long as I'm here. I mean, I just think it's that important to winning in our league.
John, what kind of veteran leadership and presence does Cam Fleming bring to the offense?
Yeah, look, it's still, for me, it's new because I'm learning these players, and but I think, you know, anytime the offensive line we paid a lot of attention to in the offseason, obviously, and creating really overhauling that room and changing what we wanted that room to look like, and he'll be part of that. Sometimes it's organic, you know, and it kind of takes on. It's not planned. Who you bring in is planned, and then, you know, typically when you're bringing in the right type of people, it handles itself, and it's kind of how we've approached it. But his experience is obviously a big plus for us.
Coach, you mentioned the players stay off tomorrow. What do you
Well, we go ahead and map out the next 7 days of practice with the scripts, practice schedules. At some point, I'm going to be talking with Sean McVay relative to the joint practice here in a few weeks. I mean, we've got time. But a lot of it is, when we were in the spring, for instance, we planned these first 6 practices, scripted all of it so that it was ready when camp began. And then we kind of went till, we actually have it scripted through Monday. So tomorrow we'll get another 7 days of practice planning. We'll look at cut-ups. We'll talk about the first 4 or 5 days and look at the depth chart. We'll have those type of meetings. So it's really planning ahead.
And music a little bit out there today, none yesterday, I don't think. What's your philosophy?
I didn't have any, I have a philosophy, I like it. I like playing the music. It was just one of those things where someone said, are we going to listen to music? And I said, yeah. And then put the music on. So I'm good. I like all genres. And so I didn't have it in my notes.
There's a lot made of the offensive line that he's added in terms of the run game. What does Chris Manning also give you in that?
Well, I think in order to run the ball, it's hard to do without a blocking tight end or someone that can handle the D gap. We found Chris in New Orleans on a free agent tryout with no football experience, basketball player. A close friend of mine sent me a little video on my phone. We brought him in. Our vision when we worked him out was like that receiving type Jimmy Graham tight end. And it actually was interesting because he developed into a really, really physical player at the line of scrimmage. Unfortunately for us, then Carolina picked him up off our practice squad, and then he went to Jacksonville. But I would say in the last 5 years, he's been one of the better run blocking tight ends. And so that, and then his makeup, his character, he's a tremendous guy. That's, you can have a lot of things going for you relative to running the football, but you end up playing jumbo tackles maybe if you don't have a blocking tight end. And he just does a lot of those things well. And you know exactly what you're getting from him, which allows you to game plan easier on Wednesday and Thursday nights. Yeah, he was excused. We'll have him back before Monday. I mean, he'll be at Monday's practice. He had a death in his family, and he'll be returning on the weekend.
You only get so much time to practice special teams in terms of volume. Is it easier to evaluate a kicking competition versus other positions?
Yeah, I imagine so. You can just chart it and say, this is what you're seeing, right? Yeah, that would be fair to say. I just finished talking to these guys, though, and not just the kickers. We want to make sure that we're not just paying attention to the depth chart in our room. In fairness to the process, they're competing with the players in their room and then the other 31 teams. We had a kicking competition in New Orleans between 2 guys that went through all the way through training camp. I mean, charted everything. We finished the preseason. I got a call from John Harbaugh. They were releasing a kicker he felt strongly about. We brought him in for a workout and ended up signing him and releasing the other 2. And so all of these guys, you're really trying to help them internalize the focus on their play and tune out trying to count the numbers. But yeah, I think relative to watching those guys, it's a little cleaner when you're watching them kick. And look, fortunately, I don't know that we've missed one yet. We've had 2 good periods now, yesterday and today, and hopefully that continues.
For the various punt returners that you have, Washington, et cetera, what are you looking to see from them, and how are you challenging them?
Well, the first thing, it's a great question. The first thing is reliability and ball security. There's nothing worse when a ball's in the air and you've got that, like, I hope he catches it, and then that's something where the preseason will help show its hand a little bit. But I kind of get back to Westhoff, Kotwika, and even Banjo, but the investment we've made in our special teams, both on the field and upstairs, is significant. And we're going to have the opportunity to return in the kickoff. Hopefully, I know it's tough here because of the altitude, but, when we get those return opportunities in the punt game, we're going to have great schemes and designs to give these guys a chance. And the key is then let's, we got a great producer. Let's find someone that can take advantage of that. And so that'll be important.
Sean, going back to John Harbaugh calling you other coaches, how many times have coaches maybe give you bad advice or versus, hey, they're right, like this kicker ended up being?
I would say the times where maybe you get burned occasionally is not necessarily with the player, but it might be in the hiring of an assistant coach, and you get them and you're like, it's not what you said. I've got a handful of those, but all good. One more. Anyone? Yeah, pretty regularly. About every other week we talk. He's focused on the horses right now, and good for him. He's had some recent winners, so he's always in a good mood when I call him. Thank you.